Good evening, everyone. This is NZ Freedom Hub Radio on Friday, the 24th of April, 2026. And so we're going to kick off tonight, and I'm going to give you a really good introduction into what I have been up to in the past few days. In fact, it's taken quite a while, but here we go. So the update for today, so we're coming up near the end of the month. And we're starting to see a better vessel count of the new vessels that have came in this month. So looking at what is in there, right now we have 13 vessels arriving, mostly from, it's dominated by Singapore. Although it is getting up in numbers towards South Korea there. Normally it's a 50-50 split, but we got 1, 2, 4, 5. Well, we got 5-5 split there with a couple. Okay, so we got a 5 and 5 split. We've also got a couple of vessels in from Japan. The vessel from Pago Pago would have been an intermediate vessel, coming in from coming in originally from probably South Korea or Singapore, partially laden into Timaru. So that is normal for there. If we get on here, hopefully I can get this thing to work here. Oh yeah, I can. Look at that. Right, so I just go back into look at our fuel distribution. Right, so we're looking at so far, and this is up to date today, the moorings of 29. That it kind of might seem a little low in comparison, overall previous months over the past few years. But honestly, by the end of the month, we will be seeing this number actually increase quite a bit. We still have another one vessel, but the vessels that are actually here that have just arrived will actually go on in transit further around the North and South Island, and there's quite a few already stacked up, to deliver fuels, especially at Wellington. There's about 3 or 4 that are already stacked up. So that number will get us into, the 30, 34, 35. Again, that is bringing it, that will end up this month, in the normal range. So that again is looking like, okay, we got through that really nerve-wracking sort of period where we didn't know where this is going to go. It started to worry me as well, because I was seeing vessels actually dropping off, not quite dropping off, just not actually being here, and the numbers were starting to go down, and that was a bit of a worry there. So, but it looks like in the end, we'll hit hopefully over the mid-30 moorings there, and that would be a good number. It will still take us into safely, well over the 24 days fuel supplies throughout the whole country, and it's quite comfortable with me. We're only at the 24th. We still got 6 days. We've got 5 days after tomorrow, and we already have, I think we counted about 5 vessels that are still to arrive yet. So that's going to kick off next month in May with a good start already. So I mean, despite everything going on just now, the fuel companies are actually still managing to secure, adequate number of vessels to arrive. So it's just a matter of, one of those things where I keep a watch every day. I'm doing like updates on the fuel schedules every 2 days instead of every week. It's becoming like that, whereas I need to keep a closer watch on what's going on. So it's still, we're still not out of the woods yet. We don't know if anything's going to happen in the Middle East. We are hearing of an uptick in activities, I hate to say, by the weekend. They're looking at Saturday, which will be Sunday our time, and I don't think this is over. Right, and neither is the uncertainty of supplies as well coming in, as we know what's at stake here. It's not just fuel, it's fertilizer, rubber, synthetics, polycarbons, or the other poly things that make plastics and stuff like that. We've already heard there's been an uptick in the pricing there, so that's another thing we need to be aware of. I mean, there are sort of scary things out there, but I'm not going to go into that. So, excuse me. Right. So, right. So we'll get on, and I'll show you what happened to. I'll show you what happened to change my views here with the. I can get my screen to work properly. Yeah, there we go. Onto what happened with the my updates of my new websites. It was kind of one of those things where, and there kind of comes a time where things get near the end of their life, and it just so happens it was my old website. Now, the old website will still remain there. There's too much data on the website for me to move, and honestly, I don't want to move it. You know, I'm not going through that again. I'll leave it where it is because, as I say, the data that's there took me a long time to get it there. I don't want to do the whole thing again. Also, the older charts that are there, they are vital for historical purposes. The new site, I really don't want to clutter. It's just I want to keep it just neat and tidy. So I'll keep this current year graphs on there when I get round to doing that. So basically it looks the same, except it's a lot more cell phone friendly. It's got the new title up there, NZ Fuel Watch, but it will still be sort of under the Marsden Point News Radio, but it's entitled Marsden NZ Fuel Watch, so it's kind of got a bit of a ring. I did update it yesterday and today, and I will keep updating. I will update both sites until the end of the month. At the end of the month, I will no longer update the old website. I will just leave it as is, just for reference and for documents and historical purposes. So you could say so. But yeah, so it has been updated. So I'll do that again tomorrow. And today, of course, I did publish the new fuel forecast updated Friday. So yeah, that got updated this afternoon. And it was already put on the Telegram page. So that's all being done. So this again, the Friday will be Sunday, I'll do that. Also, what I did take over on there was, instead of I do have another website under mpnr.kiwi. Yeah, you know why I moved it, don't you? What a mouthful. So the blogs are just under my own name, you know. So I started updating that last night. So I did have a few to put in today. It was one of those things where, you know, it was one of those things. It's a sound factor. So again, they're just news bites that are taken from different websites to do with supply chains disruptions, a lot of fuel stuff, and I'll show you that in a minute. Where this will go. So I'll get out of here and I'll take you across to the old site, which still exists. Right, so this is News Bites. This was done under mpnr.kiwi.nz. This was just I did this at the start of the Middle East disruption. The last one was posted there the 18th of March, and there's a lot of articles here, which I was picking up each day from as you do when you're watching news and stuff like that. Rather than bombard someone's page that never gets looked at, I just thought I'll just start up another blog site and start off posting articles up here. So yeah, and that's what I did there. So that was all good. So things are looking good there. So I thought, well, I'm not going to scrap this website. I'll leave it where it is because I do want to keep records of these events here, because it's something I can go back and reference. And I don't really want to tie it into my news site. So I thought, well, I'll just gently do the blog site and then just do it from there. So, okay, so now we move into what am I actually up to now. So what I'm doing is I do have a publisher and editor, And so Michael from eLocal, this is the latest one today that I gave him the audio transcript from this afternoon, and also some further information there. So he's got my own column there. So it's the Engine Fuel Watch. The articles are really, they're really in depth there. So so he's comparing official data and my data. And it's not an argument. It's just, this is basically a good summary of what's actually going on, and that's how things are just now. So he's also added in, a few charts there, which is really cool of him, So we're going past the 4 weeks for this month. So there's a lot of good info there. So I'll get that link to you as well. It's something that I'm quite pleased that I do have another outlet to go to. So it's all in all, it's been actually, it's been running quite well. So I'll get on with things, and I'll get things opened up. So I'll get that done there. And what I'll do is just now, I shall stop this recording and let you guys come in here if you need to be, and we'll take it from there. So last words, this has been New Zealand Freedom Hub Radio on Friday, 24th of April 2026. Thanks for watching and listening. Okay, and I'll see you again.